So, main deal today is to pull this crap off, whatever I don't need. Don't need EGR in a truck that's going to be registered as a 1963. I'm going to pull all that crap off. I'm going to mount the fuse box, going to mount the air intake, and then I'm going to double check, make sure that ECU is going to stay where it's going to be, and then mount the battery, I think. Okay, so I don't have any proper paint markers, so all I'm going to do is come in here, and from here to here, looks like it's be about an inch, mark out. This is just my all in this, scratching a mark in here. Yeah, mark out approximately an inch. I'm going to bandsaw this sucker, and then I've got a plastic welding kit that I can weld these suckers back together after, and then hopefully we'll end up with an OEM seam that looks bang on for what it is. Alright, so I went out and I cut it, and it's actually a rubber. I didn't realize that. Just going to glue it together here, make it look half decent, and we should have a good temporary for now at least. Just going to set this up in my toolbox, let the epoxy or the glue here dry, and then we'll start filling the poor cut gaps here and all that. So it should look like it was meant to be, but we'll get it there eventually. Okay, so the next task at hand is to get rid of this crap. I believe this is all EGR. I got to do a little bit more digging and figure out what I can delete, but I believe this sucker right here is the EGR valve, so it can disappear. We're going to pull the little EGR hose out of there too, and I'm going to figure out how to block off. I've got an extra vacuum line here that was meant for HVAC on the Crown Vic. Figure out how to delete that, and that should be it. Okay, my gasket. Oh, now it's stuck. There we go. My gasket just fell out, but just keep your hands on that because you use that as a template to build a new one. Alright, so I stole this little gasket here in the meantime. It's actually a day later from previous videos, but yeah. Cleaned up the inside a little bit. I made the block off plate. It's nowhere near straight. I know you're going to pause the video and look. I did that with a hand grinder, or an angle grinder, so at least it'll probably work. This guy here, just moved him over. I'm going to block him off with a cap. I'm going to go back to the city here this week and I'll get a cap. This guy's going to face out towards the vacuum line. And this guy, this guy and this guy are going to stay there. One of them's going to, I believe, one of them's going to the fuel, I guess that's the regulator. And these other two are going God knows where. I think they're to the evap. I'm going to delete those two, and then the rest of them can stay there. I'll probably just cap them off using a little bit of glue or something then too. Okay, so easiest thing for this guy is probably going to be this. You pull these little tabs here on all the forward fuse boxes. This tab here as well, and this one here. Come on, you almost need another hand for this. and that bottom metal bracket will come right out. Set that guy up there. I'm gonna figure out where to mock this guy up. I'll take this bolt off and just use some of the existing hardware in here. Probably gonna hack this guy off here real quick and then make another bracket to come down and meet up with the rest of the sheet metal. And it should weld right in there. Make it nice and level. It'll hide nicely. Well, not hide, but it'll look decent. And then we'll put a battery up in this area here. Okay, so while we're waiting for that stuff over there to cool down, this glue here is dried enough to the point where we can mock it up at least. Just gonna stick it on here, and we're gonna see how far out I am. Okay, so if that doesn't fix my issue, which it may not, I might just go buy a cone filter and put a cone filter up in here. Be easier than messing around with this stuff then. Look a lot cleaner than this too. I think that's probably what we'll end up doing. This will work for now, but probably put a cone filter in it. This guy can get hooked up though. Okay, so I went and grabbed the, well, this is the original car out of the battery out of the cop car. It's kind of become a yard battery since, so it's pretty rough. Probably gonna get a new one anyway. The wires, I was going to relocate the battery to under the bed, but it just never happened. Not enough room back there with the current situation with the suspension. So what we're going to do instead is I've got some leads like that. Just going to go on there and they're going to bolt in. Super easy. Alright, so I don't know if this is making a video. Yeah, it is. My memory's getting low. This is probably gonna be the last video. I lost something around the corner, that's why I stopped. Just going over this, gonna make sure my ECT temperature is gonna be 200 degrees before the fan turns on. Just gonna make sure it all works still. And as soon as I know it all works again, then we're golden. We can go back into the shed and we can start some other stuff. There's some others. There's still an exhaust tube in there. I just crimped it off on the end so it doesn't blow too much exhaust into under the hood, but for now, it seems to be working pretty good.